Hello, and welcome back to Greg's Gruns. I'm still alive. My teammate and I shot Mammoth Sniper Challenge last weekend, and it was definitely Mammoth Sniper challenging. Very, very tough conditions. It it ended up snowing. I love backpacking and camping, but I've never camped in the snow. On Friday night, it got down to about 18 degrees, and it snowed 3 or 4 inches on top of us. So that was an interesting experience. Um, they adjusted the ruck times because of the snow. I think because of that, they ended up not dropping as many teams as they normally would. Um, the match director, Chris, said that he was perhaps too lenient in the ruck times, but it was very icy. It ended up being very icy and snowy all of Saturday and Sunday, the last day as well. Um, So typically the ruck times are 16-minute miles. A bunch of teams dropped the first day, the first 16-minute miles. We did 25 miles of rucking all in all, but with the camping and with the stages, walking to different stages, it ended up being like 38 miles of walking between Friday, Saturday, and half of Sunday, basically. So it's a lot. It's a lot of walking. My feet were really pretty gnarly by the end of the match. For Saturday and for the first ruck of Sunday, they adjusted the ruck times to 18 minutes. I think most teams. I'm not sure if they dropped any teams on Saturday, but that was lucky for me because on Saturday morning I was feeling pretty lousy. I hadn't really eaten enough, and I think I was dehydrated too. And I don't think I would have been able to do 16-minute miles in the snow, in the ice. I actually fell on Saturday morning on the ice. I was okay, but it was not fun. But yeah, that was the rucking. It was pretty intense. The shooting was very challenging as well. They brought in a bunch of marathon targets, which are basically a little armored box with like a martial arts dummy on top, and it can sense when you've hit it. These were set to being hit 3 times, they'd fall over. That's kind of neat. And they put them at different ranges, and they'd be scooting along, and it's very challenging to hit them. Very interesting shooting stages. I'm going to go over my gear, what I liked, what I didn't like. Our placement, we ended up 29th out of, I think, 86 teams started on Friday morning. And I think 60 something, maybe 65 teams ended up not dropping, finishing. So most of the teams finished, like I said, because of those lenient ruck times. But yeah, we came in 29th, which I'm happy with. And my teammate Max, it was his first long-range match. We did make one big mistake. One of the stages, it's very specific. The stage briefs are very specific. If you don't follow them exactly, you don't end up getting any points for the stage. Like if your ruck is not in the shooting area, or you don't bring it into a hide or something like that, they don't call impacts, and you don't get any points. It was kind of that situation. It was a police car. It was a driver's side and a passenger side, and both of us messed up which side is the driver's side and which is the passenger side, and we were just confused. We smoked the stage. We hit all the found all the targets, hit all the targets, did really well on that stage, but most of the points didn't count because of, we didn't follow the stage brief. So that's on us. It is what it is. We would have, Max figured out we would have finished 14th if we got all the points for that stage. But that's part of the game. They're real sticklers about the rules. So I'm going to go over the gear that I brought back. I weighed my pack at the beginning. It was right around 50 pounds at the beginning with the tent. I weighed it afterwards without the tent. We passed the tent along we switch it up every day, who would carry the tent. But at the end, my pack weighs 42 pounds. I weighed it, and considering the tent weighs 5 pounds, really only dropped a few pounds. It's really just food and ammo. My ammo doesn't weigh that much, and my food didn't really weigh that much either. So ammo and food and just a couple wipes and stuff like that, the disposable stuff, really only dropped my pack a few pounds. And let me tell you what, that pack felt heavier and heavier every day, even though it was getting slightly lighter. So I'll go over my my ruck setup, because I did change it up, and what I thought about all my gear. Say hi, Max.
Hi, Max.
Well, unless somebody's slow.
All right, there's my ruck. The big change you'll notice, well, a lot of the crap is on the outside now, but I did change to carry my rifle on the sides. That carries way better than having it like way the hell on my back. A couple guys suggested that to me, and there's no like really comfortable way to do it, but that seems to be a better solution than having it on my back. I pulled all of the dirty clothes out, so you don't have to see all my nasty dirty clothes, but here's my cap. I don't think I really would bring this. It doesn't weigh a lot, but I don't think I'd bring it again. I didn't really use it a lot. These little... Hi, kitty. Hello. Would you use these gloves? No? Okay. I don't think I'd use these gloves. They're super thin. I think I used them once as like under gloves. They're super thin. They're basically worthless when it's really cold out. I don't think I'd bring those again. These gloves are great. I actually shot a couple stages. I didn't shoot my pistol with these on, but I did shoot my rifle a couple times with these on. They are easy enough to shoot with. And they're reasonably warm. They're not like super duper warm, but I had hot hands and pretty lightweight. This Columbia thing was where are you going? This Columbia thing was my base layer for the first 2 days. Man, did it smell bad by the second day. Max can tell you that. Worked out pretty well though. This Memorial 3-gun hoodie I brought by accident because I was wearing it on Friday morning, and we were lining up for the ruck, and I'm like, oh shit, I still have this on. So I brought it by accident, but kind of glad I did, because my pillow was not high enough. It was too flat. So this thing I put on top of my pillow, and I wore it at night because it wasn't sweaty and gross. So I guess I'm glad I brought that. I would probably choose something different next time. This is just a Sitka base layer long sleeve shirt. Excellent, really lightweight base layer. I wore it on Sunday. That worked out. This Arc'teryx cap was great. This mid layer, it's Alaskan hardware mid layer. As soon as I got done rucking on Friday and Saturday, I put this thing on under my big coat, and kept me pretty warm. It's pretty breathable. It's not like really packable. Really none of this stuff is super duper packable, and that's kind of one of my big complaints, is that none of my gear, it just takes up a lot of room in that frickin' thing, and when you're about to ruck, you're kind of like on edge and shoving gear into your bag. It's just nice to have something that's super packable, but yeah, this it worked. It worked fine. It's just maybe next time I'm going to bring some more micro down stuff if I shoot it again. These attack pants from Kuiu were perfect. Perfect weight, breathable, but also warm. They were just fantastic. This hat I wore at night. I'm about to get into the camping stuff in the bag, but I wore this at night to keep my head warm, and it worked pretty well. The face covering there, I don't know, it made me feel like somebody was trying to smother me, so I ended up not using that, but this cap was pretty warm. And finally, my Kuiu jacket. Now, this jacket is fantastic, but like I said, it's not very packable. I have another Kuiu jacket. I have another Kuiu jacket that's down, and it's really packable, but it's not as warm as this. So I don't know. I think I would maybe, man, I need another jacket like I need a hole in the head, but this did work, but it was just annoying and just took up a bunch of space. Like, look how huge that thing is. I could kind of crunch it down, but space was at a premium. It was a hot commodity in this bag for the whole weekend. So yeah, my clothes worked out, but I think at least one article needed to be a little bit more packable. All right, so yeah, a lot of this shit ended up on the outside of my pack, like my belt, my bags, my Nalgene. Probably didn't even need to take my Nalgene, but it was nice to have. Of course, my rifle and everything. And yeah, pretty much the same shit as before. You know, my pistol, that worked out great. My Acro P1, I didn't baby that thing. I did turn it down at night, but you know, it got to be 18 degrees and it worked fine. My binos, the bino harness, you guys have seen that before. That worked great, especially with in conjunction with the tripod. So Max brought the tripod, Leo Photo tripod, and I'll tell you what, something that I have learned shooting these matches over the years is that ranging the targets is just as much of a skill as shooting the targets. And if you can range off of the tripod, do it. Clip these suckers in to your tripod and go to town ranging, because they make the ranging intentionally difficult. A lot of times I'll be on top of a hill or whatever, and you're never going to hit that thing. Well, you're never going to hit it at all, probably, but you're not going to get accurate ranges if you're just holding the binos in your hand or bracing off something that's not that stable. So, yes, range off the tripod whenever you can. It's almost more important than shooting off of a tripod, I would say. This is a cup. Same cup. I'm glad I brought this. Can't fuel. I didn't even use this pistol pouch. I ended up with one spare pair of socks. Lancer mags worked great. Of course, the smoke color with the suppressed Mark 12 really clouded up the window, so you can't really see through it that well anymore, as you can see. But Lancer mags worked well. I'm glad I brought two. There actually was a stage where you could shoot as many rounds as you wanted at the marathon targets. So I did end up, I think I shot like 20, almost 30 rounds, I think, on that stage. So that's where having a semi-auto gas gun really came into play. This is a great little battery. I didn't eat this Snickers. Maybe I'll eat it right now, as soon as I'm done. Blister tape. Max brought this. I am so glad he brought this because my feet were at least 50% blister tape by the end of the match. I'm not going to show you guys pictures because it's gross, but it was gnarly. Sling. I ended up using the sling on one stage where you had to shoot kind of unsupported, but you could use a sling. In the future, I think I'm just going to bring a more minimal sling than this big bulky thing. Like I'm saying, the real issues here are bulk rather than weight. This is a 60-liter bag, but a lot of this stuff is just very bulky. My pillow, this worked out fine, but like I said, it's too flat. I don't know who designed this, but I have big manly shoulders, and my head my neck was going to be fucked up if I used this normally. So I don't know what's up with that. My ammo, I can count my ammo for you. I brought way too much pistol. Look how much pistol ammo I have left. I think I brought 110 pistol rounds. I can count, see exactly how many I used. Rifle rounds, this looks like, you know, maybe a magazine or two. I can count for you guys, but used more rifle rounds. Dry bag worked out great. Here's my dope card. This was actually taped to my jacket. And then the tape froze in place. It was pretty classic. So there's all my dope information. I really need to just get a frickin' dope card sleeve thing. Dude wipes. I didn't need to bring this whole frickin' thing, but I did. I did poop several times. Food bag, complete with a nasty spoon. This is just a Pepto and my contacts case and earplugs. Earplugs are very important because you're camping with a bunch of dudes and they probably all snore. Camp fuel, or excuse me, camp stove. This worked out fine. There were a couple times when we were both cooking at once, so I'm glad I brought that. Alright, now the quilt. The quilt worked out very well, and I wasn't cold, even though it got to be really, really, really cold. The one thing I have, it wasn't really drafty. It wasn't as drafty as I thought it was going to be. You basically cinch it around your neck, and it kind of wraps around your shoulders, and it was very comfortable. My feet were warm. I put my jacket over my feet as well, but my feet were warm. I was warm. My head, however, was not that warm. And I think this is just one of those things that if you've ever used a quilt, let me know what you do about your head. If a beanie is sufficient, I had that extra warm hat. But when it gets to be really, 20 degrees or 18 degrees, just breathing the air outside of your sleeping bag or your quilt can be kind of rough. So let me know if you guys use something else, or if you use a quilt, what you do. But yeah, it worked out great. I like it a lot. I'll use it again probably. It was very what's it called? Plush, lofty. Okay. Yeah, and Thermarest. This was awesome. Again, these have to be used together, the pad and the quilt. But this was a very high R value Thermarest, and it worked out great. I think that's it. Just one, just little toothbrushes and stuff. My bags ended up living on the outside. The acro on my rifle, actually, I did use that a couple times. But yeah, that's what I ended up bringing back. let me pull the rifle out and I'll give you a rundown of how that fared. Oh yeah, the side pockets I had, iPro. I didn't use it on every stage, but for, pistol shooting, I definitely used it. These walkers worked out great. They didn't lose battery or anything like that. I did have to warm them up in my pocket because, they have foam ear inserts. Just a headlamp. This one had essentially just my Right in the Rain notepad. So there's some stage notes. And in these pockets I still have this knife, Spyderco knife. I didn't really need to use this, but I think I would bring it again probably. One thing I didn't bring that I should have brought was a lighter. I don't know why the hell I didn't bring that. So I should have brought a lighter, but I didn't to light my stove. Luckily Max had a lighter. Something I forgot to mention last time, I did bring this 38 pound box of kitty litter. It rode pretty well on the bottom of my ruck, and I did go with a multi-cat just in case, just for that extra odor control. But yeah, this is definitely an essential piece of equipment for Mammoth. All right, here's the rifle I shot Mammoth with. South African R5 clone. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I was confused. They're both brown, so, This is the rifle that I shot Mammoth with. They're both brown, so I got a little confused. I did go with the sunshade. People make fun of this ridiculous Vortex sunshade because it is so freaking long, but better to have that than not. So, yeah, really nothing changed, obviously. Would have been nice to clip in to a tripod here, but it's just not an option with the tube. The aim point, I actually did use the aim point for some of the offhand shooting. It was actually pretty useful. And my scope, of course, weighs a ton. It's just a beast. The gun didn't weigh that much, so I was still it was honestly a lot lighter than a lot of the bolt gun guys who are running like 18, 20-pound rifles, which is insane to me. But I think a Loophole Mark V might be in my future just to try to get the weight down on this setup. I do like this scope a lot, but every ounce counts in this kind of match. And as much as I love the Razor, it's too heavy. Not a lot of people running Razors because they're just obscenely heavy. So might get the Mark V or another Night Force or something. Some kind of tan colored scope would look really good on this rifle. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. No malfunctions with this gun or Max's kind of dirt cheap 6.5 Creedmoor gas gun. So both of our guns ran pretty flawlessly. It's only, I guess we only shot, like 120 rounds or something like that. But still, adverse conditions, this rifle got to be covered in snow and frozen and everything, and so did Max's gun. And actually a couple of bolt gun guys had some issues with their bolts being kind of frozen. So it can happen to any gun, but I'm glad that that this gun worked, and I'm glad my teammate's gun worked as well. This mod, like I said, I used the sling on one stage, and I guess I'm glad I had it, but yeah, so that's my after action for Mammoth. If you guys have any questions about this match, please ask me in the comments, and I'll try my best to answer you. I love this backpack, by the way. I would definitely use that backpack again. There's really not a ton of gear that I would change up. I would probably try to get a lighter weight scope, but other than minor clothing things, pretty much most of my gear, I used almost everything that I brought, and I brought everything that I used. So that's all I have to say about that. Oh, one more final note here. Like I mentioned, my feet got pretty banged up. I like these Keen boots. Perhaps the foot box is actually too big though, and my toes ended up bumping into the front. And I think a lot of that had to do with these insoles. These insoles straight up suck. They're like really slick, material. So my feet ended up kind of sliding around inside the boot, even when they were laced up super tight. So if you've got a pair of these boots, I would throw these away and get some Dr. Scholl's or something, because my feet got really messed up. And like I said, I don't think it's really the boots. I think it's really more the insoles. And yeah. Quick note about bags and such. I brought a rear bag and this Game Changer. I used this as a rear bag a few times, and I used this as well. I don't think I would bring both. I honestly think one or the other would probably work. This would work better, but there's certain times when the squishiness of this bag works better too. So I would bring one or the other probably in the future. And another note, these Norarm thermals are absolutely essential if you're going to be doing Mammoth I in the cold. So definitely bring some thermals so you don't freeze, and so you can maybe walk around without getting dressed. Yeah. This video is brought to you by Greg's Grips. This is definitely an American-made 1911 with actually American-made Carlo Walnut Double Diamond grips made by yours truly. Available at gregsgrips.com. Also, Hudson H9 or Daniel Defense H9 grips are available too if you have one of those and you want to beautify your Daniel Defense H9. I make walnut grips or any other kind of wood. Just send me a DM and I'll get you hooked up.
Nice grips.
Oh,